So for a long time, there's been this idea, this spiritual goal, that's been held up as the absolute pinnacle, right? It's becoming the silent, detached observer of your own life. But what if that's not the destination? What if that's just the start of the real journey?
You know the drill. We're taught to find that quiet space, that field of awareness that exists behind all the noise of the world. And look, there's incredible value in that. In that moment, you realize you are not your racing thoughts, you are not your fleeting emotions.
But here's the big question we're diving into today. Is that state of just watching, of being detached, is that really the end of the road? Or is it just the entryway to something way more powerful?
Yeah, that thing we've been sold as the finish line, turns out, it's just the starting block. The real work, the really exciting work of creation, that all lies just beyond it.
Now, let's be super clear. Reaching this state is a massive achievement. It's like climbing a huge mountain and finally getting a clear, peaceful view above all the chaotic weather down below. It's an absolutely essential first step, no question.
The problem, the real trap, happens when we decide to just set up camp on that mountaintop and stay there forever. This is the trap of passivity, and honestly, it has some pretty profound consequences. Think about it. When you only stay in that observer mode, you're essentially stepping back from actively shaping your life. You create a power vacuum. And as we know, nature absolutely hates a vacuum. Something will always rush in to fill that space.
And that something that rushes in, it's been given a name, the Arcic Veil. The best way to think of it is like the default programming, you know? It's the collective script that just runs on autopilot when you're not consciously writing your own. It's the system that actually thrives on our disengagement.
And you can see the trade-offs right here. That calm, detached state we all want, well, the flip side is that it can lead to creative dormancy. Being a spectator of your own life can slowly turn into numbness and inaction. And being non-reactive, well, that leaves that critical vacuum we just talked about. And listen, this isn't some abstract, ancient idea. The modern veil is all around us. It's in the endless digital feeds that are designed to harvest our attention, the predictive algorithms that know what we'll do next, and those engineered outrage cycles that keep us trapped in a loop of constant reaction instead of conscious creation. And this really hits on the core mistake. We're taught to surrender, but there is a world of difference between surrendering to a higher flow and completely surrendering your personal power, your agency to create your own life. So, if being a witness isn't the final goal, what is? Well, this brings us to a whole new way of looking at things, a new paradigm, the shift from being a witness to becoming an architect. This lays out the transformation so perfectly. The watcher is always asking, what's happening to me? But the architect asks a totally different question. What is emerging through me? It's the massive difference between just inheriting a script and actually authoring your own.
And this isn't just some random leap of faith, it's a clear progression. First, you have to find the ground of pure awareness. That's the watcher stage. Then you use that as a vantage point to see clearly. From there, you introduce movement, where you fuse that awareness with your will. And that ultimately leads to conscious creation.
And let's get really specific about what will means here. We are not talking about the ego's forceful, tense, controlling desire to make things happen. No, sovereign will is different. It's this quiet, stable, immovable power that just naturally emerges when your entire inner world, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions are all in perfect alignment. This just reframes everything, doesn't it? That peaceful stillness you found as an observer? It's not a hammock for you to just rest in forever. It's the gyroscope that keeps you stable. It's the launch pad that makes sure when you do decide to act, your action is clear, powerful, and totally undistorted. Okay, so that covers the what and the why. But how do you actually do it? Let's get into the practical mechanics of how to make this profound shift happen. So the fundamental principle here is resonance, not force. You don't just shout at the universe to get what you want. Instead, the idea is to align your internal world so perfectly, so coherently, that the external world just naturally starts to reorganize and reflect that new signal you're putting out. Okay, the first ingredient you need is absolute clarity. You have to know precisely what it is you are choosing to create. This means your vision needs to be sharp, specific, and totally free from any internal apology or contradiction. Second, you need coherence. This is the part where you align your entire being behind that vision. Your thoughts, your words, your emotions, and your actions, they all have to be broadcasting the exact same message. No fragmentation, no mixed signals. And finally, there's consistency. You can't just hold this aligned state for 5 minutes and expect your world to magically change. It's all about holding that frequency, holding that vision, steadily and patiently, until your inner architecture is finally mirrored in your outer reality. So this is basically your practical checklist. And I want you to pay close attention to that last point. Rehearse the emotional state of fulfillment. This isn't just thinking positive. This is about embodying the actual feeling of your desired reality before it even arrives. It's an incredibly powerful way to bring your whole energy field into coherence. When you start to put all of this together, it really leads to a completely new way of being. This isn't just some technique you pull out every now and then. It becomes a fundamental shift in your identity.
And ultimately, it all comes down to this one single, powerful question. It's asking you to really look at your life and decide, are you here just to watch the show go die, or are you here to step onto the stage and help design it?
And that's really the final takeaway. The journey of awareness doesn't end with you just passively admiring everything from the sidelines. It finds its truest, most ultimate expression when you remember that you are a creator, and you begin to consciously, actively participate in the ongoing design of reality itself.